Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's Madison Square Garden wedding shut down streets, filled an arena with nearly 1,000 guests, and was kept secret until the very end. Now everyone wants to know how they pulled it off. Stick around, because we're breaking down how it all came together. Friday evening, Manhattan. Dozens of black cars with tinted windows started rolling up outside Madison Square Garden, and inside those cars were some of the most famous faces on the planet. Dozens of black cars dropped off elegantly dressed guests outside of Madison Square Garden in New York City, and by the time the sun went down, nobody outside the barricades could see a thing. The arena had been curtained off. Swifties who'd been camped out for hours in rising heat couldn't get a single glimpse inside. Then the lights changed. As the night went on, tired fans suddenly saw pink lights flash. Just and T married. Signs surrounding Madison Square Garden read. And almost on cue, a news release confirming the nuptials was sent out, as rain started pouring and a sense of calm enveloped the area. That's when it became official. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are officially married. Here's how it actually went down inside, according to the statement from Swift's team. There were neither bridesmaids nor groomsmen. Instead, her brother Austin Swift served as Taylor's man of honor, and Jason Kelce was Travis's best man. The ceremony joined both families together, and the officiant wasn't a judge or a priest. The ceremony was officiated by comedian and a friend of the couple, Adam Sandler, the same guy who once played a wedding singer in the movies, now actually running one. TMZ later reported that Sandler didn't just read vows, he sang. Sources with direct knowledge said the song Adam wrote for the bride and groom was humorous yet touching, and was all about their love, and he came out first before Jason and Kylie Kelce's kids scattered petals as flower girls, while Taylor walked the aisle to one of her own songs arranged for strings. That's the wedding people clicked to see, but almost nobody, until that Friday, actually knew it was happening for certain. For weeks, all anyone had were rumors, permits, and a guessing game about whether Madison Square Garden was even real or an elaborate decoy. That guessing game is where this story really starts. For most of June, nobody in New York could say with certainty that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were getting married at Madison Square Garden. What they could say is that something enormous was happening there, and the city itself was leaking the secret one permit at a time. It started with paperwork. Weeks before the forecasted wedding date of July 3, 2026, a permit was filed by an event planning company. The New York Times reported, and the permit closed all streets around the venue from July 2 to July 4 to accommodate an event. Then came a second filing that confirmed just how big this was going to be. Winnick Productions, a company that has produced red carpet events for Grammy and Tony Awards shows and movie premieres, applied for a permit to set up a canopy or tent outside the garden for an event involving up to 999 people. Reporters camped near the loading docks started noticing things that had nothing to do with basketball or concerts. Public records showed the city issued a permit for loading and unloading theatrical materials at MSG from June 29 to July 4. And as materials were loaded into the venue that week, some reports showed video of a man with a Taylor Swift carpenter's shirt operating a machine, while others caught what appeared to be a staircase being hauled into the venue. A carpet got unrolled outside one entrance, then rolled back up before anyone could photograph it properly. Crews worked in and out for days straight, without a single official word from either camp. That silence was the point. This was, according to one interview Swift gave months earlier, a wedding designed for control. She joked with Graham Norton about her own guest list, saying anyone she'd ever talked to was technically invited, before catching herself. Anyone that I've ever talked to is invited, Swift joked about her wedding in an interview with Graham Norton, before quickly adding, I shouldn't have said any of that. That kind of instinct, say something revealing, then immediately try to take it back, tells you exactly how hard this couple was working to keep details locked down. And for a while, that effort actually produced genuine confusion, not just anticipation. Because here's the twist inside the secrecy. Even wedding planners who make a living reading these signals weren't sure Madison Square Garden was the real location. One expert quoted by Forbes Someone who'd worked on the arrangements for JFK Jr.'s wedding, historically one of the most secretive celebrity weddings ever pulled off, floated the theory that the garden could be a complete cover and that no wedding would take place there at all, while others thought it was simply the after-party for an exchange of vows that happened privately, to maintain intimacy and dodge the media. That theory almost made too much sense. Think about it. A 20,000-seat arena is one of the worst places on Earth to keep something quiet, and one of the best places to control who gets in. The iconic venue offers Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, along with their A-list celebrity guests, a rare combination of privacy, security, and scale that few locations can match. No windows facing the street at ground level. One central loading zone, a security apparatus built for arena tours and NBA playoff games, already battle-tested for crowd control. If you wanted a wedding that a couple hundred people could attend, but that literally no drone, telephoto lens, or nosy fan could actually document from outside, you'd struggle to design something better than Madison Square Garden. Still, official confirmation lagged behind the speculation for a long stretch. Even 3 days before the event, nobody would say the word wedding on the record. Forbes described it plainly. The whole production was a 2-day affair at Madison Square Garden this week. That involved street closures, truckloads worth of decor, and a black tie dress code, but may not actually include a marriage, at least as far as anyone outside the inner circle could prove. That uncertainty ran right up until law enforcement itself broke ranks. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce really are having a wedding at Madison Square Garden, an official told the Associated Press. And a separate law enforcement official briefed on security plans told the AP that the wedding would be held Friday, with a smaller rehearsal dinner Thursday night, speaking on condition of anonymity, because they weren't authorized to discuss the events publicly. That's the moment the secret part of this story started cracking open. Not because Swift or Kelce announced anything, but because a wedding this size, in a city this dense with cameras, is almost impossible to fully hide. And once the timeline was confirmed, the next question became obvious. Who exactly was on the other side of those curtains? If the venue was the first secret to crack, the guest list was the second, and honestly, it barely lasted a week. By the Thursday before the wedding, the dam had basically broken. Variety reported on the extensive list of celebrities and industry power players confirmed to attend, including close friends like Selena Gomez, the Haim sisters, Gigi and Bella Hadid, Sabrina Carpenter, Ed Sheeran, and Ice Spice. That's the music side. Then there was the country contingent. The couple also extended invites to country stars, including Miranda Lambert, Kane Brown, Little Big Town, Kelsey Ballerini, and Maren Morris, plus a level of star power that had nothing to do with either of their industries directly. Beyoncé and Jay-Z were also among the high-profile invitees. Even the football world showed up in force, which makes sense given who the groom is. Guests spotted heading into the garden that Friday included names straight out of the NFL and beyond. Andy Reid, Kelce's own head coach, was seen leaving hours later, alongside 7-time Super Bowl winner Tom Brady. Earlier, director Steven Spielberg and actress Jessica Alba made their respective exits, while stars from the NFL world were also spotted leaving, including 7-time Super Bowl winner Tom Brady and Andy Reid. Kelce is head coach with the Kansas City Chiefs. The arrivals list read like a greatest hits reel of the last 2 decades of pop culture. The celebrities were among a parade of stars seen arriving at MSG Friday, including Ethan Hawke, Gwen Stefani, Benson Boone, Jason Sudeikis, Jimmy Fallon, J-Lo, Ed Sheeran, Abby Wambach, Cooper Kupp, Roger Goodell, Joe Buck, and Jenny Han. TMZ added even more names its own sources had spotted heading in, including Jennifer Lopez, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, Tom Cruise, Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton, Reese Witherspoon, Paul McCartney, the Haim sisters, and Stevie Nicks. That last cluster of names, McCartney, Nicks, the Haim sisters, wasn't just decoration. There had been chatter for weeks that this wedding wouldn't just have music playing in the background, it would have music being performed live by people who don't typically play other people's weddings. Page 6 had reported that Stevie Nicks and Tim McGraw were set to perform at the wedding, and TMZ's source, even after leaving early, said they had a strong hunch that Paul, Stevie, and Haim were getting ready to sing some songs for the newlyweds. None of that came out of nowhere. Kelce himself had planted the seed on his own podcast, back before the engagement was even public knowledge for a full year. When Jimmy Fallon, guest hosting New Heights, asked whether the couple had started planning after their engagement, Kelce confirmed they'd already been thinking about the entertainment, telling Fallon, "Yeah, I think we're live music kind of people, you know? That's a small detail, but it's the kind of thing that turned into Paul McCartney showing up to sing at a football player's wedding." Not every rumored guest made it, though, and that absence became its own story. Fans had spent months wondering whether Swift would invite her ex, now engaged to one of her closest friends. The answer, according to reporting, was yes, but circumstance got in the way. One burning question on fans' minds was whether Taylor would invite her ex-boyfriend Harry Styles, who is now engaged to her friend Zoe Kravitz. And the answer was yes, though Styles would not be in attendance due to his current tour schedule. Beyond the marquee names, there was a whole tier of guests who mattered just as much to the story, even if they weren't chart-topping musicians. Kelce's own football circle turned out. Unsurprisingly, his coach and a fellow tight end from his off-field ventures had all but confirmed they'd be there weeks in advance, and George Kittle and Andy Reid had seemingly confirmed their invitations before the event even happened. Swift, for her part, had already tipped her hand about Sheeran, saying flatly that he was a lock to be in attendance. Other confirmed names ahead of the big night included singer Suki Waterhouse and comedian Graham Norton, while people in Page 6 had reported Zoe Kravitz and the New York Knicks starting lineup were on the invite list. By the time Friday night actually arrived, the secret guest list had effectively become public knowledge through nothing but permits, sightings, and sourced reporting, which meant the only thing left truly hidden was what happened once those doors closed. Once the black cars stopped and the curtains went up around the garden's loading entrance, almost everything from that point forward came from people who were actually inside, or from statements the couple's own team put out afterward. That's the part of this story that turns rumor into record. The rehearsal dinner came first on the Thursday night, and it was intentionally small by this wedding standards. A small rehearsal dinner was planned for Thursday night before the wedding. Friday night, held in a specific part of the arena most fans don't even know exists. Swift and Kelce hosted an event in the Garden's Infosys Theater for 100 people on Thursday, reported to be a rehearsal dinner, ahead of a larger black tie event in the arena Friday for between 500 to 999 attendees, according to the city permits. Leaked planning documents gave an almost minute-by-minute breakdown of what that Friday would look like. The NYT shared that doors to the arena would open around 4 p.m. for a cocktail hour on the arena's 6th floor, followed by a wedding and reception in the arena that would begin at around 5:30 p.m. The dress code matched the scale of everything else. This wasn't a backyard ceremony. According to the New York Times, it looked to be a formal affair when it came to guests' attire, with a black tie dress code, with many of the women wearing gowns, while a tuxedo was the choice for men. There was some flexibility built in, too. Floor-length gowns, elevated cocktail dresses, or dressy separates could also be part of the wardrobe for women. Then there was the couple themselves. Every outlet wanted to know who dressed the bride, and the answer turned out to be as high fashion as anyone predicted. Reports tied various designers to Swift's outfit, and The Hollywood Reporter claimed Swift would wear a custom couture gown made by Christian Dior's Jonathan Anderson. That prediction held up. After the ceremony, the couple's own representative confirmed it directly. releasing a statement that read in part that the bride and groom's wedding ceremony looks have been created by Christian Dior Haute Couture, designed by Jonathan Anderson, creative director of Dior Women's, Men's, and Haute Couture collections, in close collaboration with the bride and groom. Kelce, for his part, didn't go the traditional black tuxedo route. TMZ's source inside the event said he opted for a white tux to match his bride's couture gown. Inside the ceremony itself, TMZ's eyewitness account is about as close as anyone outside the guest list is going to get. The setup wasn't on the arena floor most fans picture when they think of Madison Square Garden. It was elevated. The ceremony took place a level up from the ground floor, where there was live music with strings. Sandler emerged first to set the tone, and then came the moment TMZ's source said really landed with the room. Jason and Kylie Kelce as kids were the flower girls, throwing petals around Taylor as she walked down the aisle to one of her own songs played on strings. That detail, a Taylor Swift song stripped down to strings, playing as she walked toward Kelce, is the kind of moment that explains why so many people who weren't even invited still felt emotionally invested in this event. It wasn't staged for cameras. Nobody outside that curtain saw it happen. But once it leaked out through sourced reporting, it became the single most repeated image of the whole night. Financially and logistically, this wasn't just a party. It came bundled with a public gesture that put a number on the couple's generosity, one that got repeated constantly in coverage afterward. Ahead of the big night, and confirmed as part of the wedding announcement itself, came word of a joint charitable effort tied to the occasion. The wedding confirmation came after months of speculation surrounding the details of the couple's nuptials, and on the heels of the duo donating $26 million to 20 local and national charities across the U.S., with funds split across children's hospitals, food banks, and music programs in places with personal ties to the pair, including New York, Kansas City, Nashville, and Rhode Island. By the time the last champagne glass was raised inside the garden, this had stopped being a secret in any meaningful sense. It was a fully documented, fully sourced celebrity mega event, which raises the obvious question the whole internet was asking that weekend. How did two people this famous end up here, engaged, married, at the most photographed arena in the country? To understand why this wedding carried the weight it did, you have to go back to where the whole thing started, because the origin story is baked into almost every detail of the night itself. It began, as it so often does now in pop culture retellings, with a podcast confession. Kelce and Swift's love story has captivated football and music fans alike. Since July 26, 2023, when the Kansas City tight end first shared the story of his failed friendship bracelet attempt while speaking with his brother, a former Philadelphia Eagles center, on an episode of their New Heights podcast. He'd tried to meet her after a show, hoping to hand her a bracelet with his number on it, and it hadn't worked out. On air, he admitted the letdown outright. "I was a little butthurt I didn't get to hand her one of the friendship bracelets I made for her. I wanted to give Taylor Swift one with my number on it." Swift heard about it, and rather than brush it off, she found the whole thing charming. She later told Time magazine she thought the public call-out was metal as hell. Within months, the two were dating in public view. And Kelce's brother Jason, a name that would end up as best man years later, was already noticing something strange happening around a video of that podcast moment. I mean, this video being 1.3 million views is the epitome of numerology. Jason Kelce posted in August of that year. 13 days after that post, the fandom got the confirmation it had been chasing. Fans were 100% delighted when 13 days later, the happy couple announced on social media that they were engaged. That romance played out almost entirely in public from the start, which made the secrecy around the wedding feel almost like a deliberate correction. A couple who'd let cameras follow them everywhere, finally drawing a hard line. Within months of the friendship bracelet story, Swift was attending his games. Most famously, the 2024 Super Bowl his team went on to win, and he was spotted in the crowd, and even on stage, at many of her shows the next year. Fans got another window into the relationship when Swift showed up on Kelce's own podcast to make an announcement of her own, revealing her latest album and admitting the record had been shaped by the two of them being together. Fans got a peek into their chemistry when Swift appeared on New Heights to announce her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, which she said was heavily influenced by their relationship. The proposal itself happened away from any stage or podcast, in a house that had quietly been part of the relationship's backstory for years. Kelce had purchased a 17,000 square foot, $6 million mansion in Leawood, Kansas in October 2023, which is where he got down on one knee to propose. The engagement announcement that followed leaned into the same playful tone that had defined the whole relationship. The couple announced their engagement in an Instagram post captioned, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married." Kelce had gone with something specific and personal for the ring itself, choosing an antique elongated cushion-cut stone rather than anything flashier or more conventional. From that point on, nearly a year passed with almost no confirmed details escaping the couple's circle, even as speculation about where and when reached a fever pitch. Few details had been publicly confirmed nearly a year after Kelce and Swift announced their engagement with an Instagram post. That gap between the announcement and the actual event is exactly what let the Madison Square Garden theories, the JFK Jr. comparisons, and the permit-chasing reporters build the kind of anticipation that turned a private ceremony into a live national news event the moment it was finally confirmed. And it's worth remembering just how much attention this relationship had already pulled from completely unexpected corners of public life, including corners with real political weight, long before a single guest arrived at the Garden that Friday. Even after the vows were exchanged, this wedding didn't just quietly conclude. It kept generating headlines through the rest of the weekend, and some of the loudest reactions came from people who weren't guests at all. Start with the most unexpected commentary of the night: the White House itself. As word spread that the ceremony was underway, the official White House Instagram and X accounts jumped into the conversation, and not to offer congratulations. The White House went into Taylor Swift overdrive on Friday, posting a meme appropriating the Swift-Travis Kelce wedding at Madison Square Garden. The post directly mimicked the arena's own signage from that night. In an Instagram post Friday evening, the White House parodied the Garden's purple digital billboard of Swift and Kelce as Justin T. married by replacing it with the message "Trump is your president," alongside the added text of "It's happened." It wasn't a one-off. The night before, the same account had already gone after Swift's most iconic tour imagery. The post followed one from Thursday night, in which a collage of all-American images like Iwo Jima and the Miracle on Ice were dominated by an image of Trump, beneath the caption, "America's Eras Tour." Parodying Swift's poster for the 2023 concert, commentators pointed out this fit a much longer pattern between the two. After Trump in 2024 posted a deep fake of Swift endorsing him over Kamala Harris, she clarified that she didn't do that, prompting him to post, "I hate Taylor Swift." The backlash to the wedding night post was immediate and loud. Social media users piled on almost instantly, with one widely shared reaction summing up the general mood: Taylor Swift living in Trump's head rent-free, as another blasted, "You guys are so effing corny, it's painful to watch." Other reactions online called out the irony directly, with one person writing, "I thought Trump said he hated Taylor Swift, yet he's trying to copy her Eras tour? This is comical." Meanwhile, back at the Garden, the party the White House was trying to hijack rolled on, completely undisturbed. As the night pushed past midnight, guests started filtering back out into a city still buzzing on the sidewalks. Stars who attended Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding celebration were spotted departing Madison Square Garden, on foot and in vehicles, as the festivities continued well after midnight. The exits alone became their own spectacle. Model Gigi Hadid and actor Bradley Cooper were seen being driven away from MSG early Saturday, as was actress Selena Gomez, while comedian Chris Rock was photographed inside a black SUV, and actor Hugh Grant and his wife Anna Elizabeth Eberstein were pictured walking out. Crowds who'd waited outside for hours weren't ready to give up their front row seats to history either. Crowds gathered near Madison Square Garden appeared eager for even fleeting glimpses of the celebrity guests, attending the wedding early Saturday morning, with dozens standing behind police barricades on West 31st Street, erupting in cheers whenever vehicles believed to be transporting departing guests left MSG. Reporters on the ground that night talked to fans who'd followed this relationship from the very beginning, and their reactions captured something the permits and guest lists couldn't. A 17-year-old named Zara Benham told NPR she'd grown up on Swift's music, saying simply, "I just remember always listening to her." Her mother, Lisa Benham, had come around to fandom later in life after being dragged to a concert by her daughter, and stood outside the garden that night gushing about the whole love story, telling reporters, "I'm thrilled for her. I love it. I love the whole story," adding, "I'm pleased for them. Really pleased for them." Even the city itself seemed to lean into the moment. Landmarks around Manhattan joined the celebration in their own way that night, with the Empire State Building lighting up in recognition of the occasion happening a few blocks away. And outside the arena, the signage that had sparked the whole viral moment stayed lit well into the early morning, a giant screen flashing the same three words over and over for anyone still standing on the sidewalk to see. The Empire State Building was seen in the distance as people took photos of a giant screen showing the message, "Just and T married," outside the arena where the celebration was held. So what does all of this actually add up to? A wedding that was planned in near total secrecy, hidden behind city permits and unmarked trucks and curtained loading docks, that still managed to be confirmed piece by piece before a single official word was spoken. And then once it happened, became one of the most talked about nights in recent pop culture memory, drawing reactions from teenage fans on a Manhattan sidewalk all the way up to the White House press account. The secrecy bought them a private ceremony. It never bought them a quiet one. And for two people whose entire relationship played out in stadiums and on stages, maybe that was always going to be the outcome. A wedding built to be hidden that the whole world still ended up watching unfold in real time. CBS News, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce married in ceremony officiated by Adam Sandler. Fox News, Taylor Swift marries Travis Kelce. NPR, after weeks of speculation, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce wed in New York. ESPN, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce married in ceremony at MSG. ESPN, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding. FAQ, PBS NewsHour. What we know about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding. Forbes, details slowly leaking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's New York wedding. CNN, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce tie the knot in star-studded ceremony. TMZ, inside Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce's wedding. The knot. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are married, plus wedding details. The Hollywood Reporter, Donald Trump tries to troll Taylor Swift on her wedding night. The Mirror, Donald Trump's White House continues to troll Taylor Swift. The Mirror, Donald Trump's White House trolls Taylor Swift's wedding with four-word message. Fox News Sports World turns out for Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's wedding